Good morning, my lovely FreeMelons. Welcome back to the FreeMelon Society. I am Eli Martyr. Thank you very much for joining me here once again today. We're going to give you a little bit of a meal tip that I every once in a while like to use, but I more enjoy prescribing it as a transitional meal that you can use to help you transition to a natural, raw, living food diet. Because the old style of eating involved a lot of edible food-like substances, to quote Michael Clapper, I think it was, who used that term, really funny term. Edible food-like substances, and it's true. Yeah, so foods that really are not designed for the human body, but are edible when cooked. Okay, so because we're coming from that, and because we're coming from, you know, our whole childhood and whole developmental years eating and getting raised with that, there's a strong fixation, there's a strong emotional and physical attachment to those things, to those types of food. So if we can find a way to emulate that, but have it not be damaging food, then that's something that you can use to override and replace that fixation on old cooked foods. So something that I like to do is I like to use fake cooked foods. Here's an example of a cooked, I probably alluded to this somewhere in my 10 meals for transitions that I made earlier, but here I'll just go into a little bit more detail. All you need is tomatoes, okra, and maybe some tomato sauce. And when I say tomato sauce, I don't mean go and buy Unico tomato sauce or, you know, regular Heinz, you know, ketchup tomato sauce. No, I'm talking about tomato sauce where the ingredients are tomatoes. That's it, okay? No salt, no oil, nothing, okay? So if you use sauce in this meal, that is the only kind of sauce you're allowed to use. First thing you do is you chop up your ingredients. Just chop up your tomatoes into whatever slices you like. You're gonna do the same thing with your okras, so you've got nice bite-sized pieces, and you're gonna throw them in the pot. You can also add your sauce to the pot at this time if you like. Now, don't freak out. Yes, I know it's in a pot. We are not gonna be cooking this meal, so we're not violating any of our rules. We're gonna turn the stove on to the minimum amount of heat that you can possibly go to, which on most stoves, there'll be a setting called minimum, so you just use minimum. And that's it. And then you're just gonna stir the contents around. You can put a lid on it, and you're just gonna keep it in there, stir it around until everything is nice and warm. General rule of thumb, you don't wanna be eating food that is warmer than the temperature of your own blood, okay? That's a general rule of thumb. But to make it easy, if you can stir your food around with your own finger, and with your own finger actually touch the bottom of the pot, like the bottom, the actual metal part, without burning, then that is an acceptable level of heat to warm your food up to. You will not need to resort to this type of trickery, right, in the future as you get better and better at this. But for now, and even for people on a raw food diet already, this is a perfectly acceptable meal. So you stirred around your okra and tomato, and now it's nice and warm. And the fact that visually you are seeing that you are cooking something in a pot, okay? This will draw upon the familiarity of old habits, okay? With the added advantage of the food not being the destroyed type of food item that corrupts your system and tissues. So we're making a very, very, very suitable replacement for cooked food without it being cooked food. Plus, a warm meal is actually kind of, you know, enjoyable and pleasurable. So you stir it around until your meal is warm, put it in a bowl, and voila, you have a wonderful raw, you know, it's a raw meal, but that's warm. So now you can use this as perfect social camouflage to make it look like you're cooking and you've prepared a nice meal. No preparation is really required with natural eating. So, but you can do these things, right? And still stay true to your diet and enjoy a very, very tasty meal. So anyway, try this out. You can try this with other ingredients as well. I've used this from time to time, and it's quite delicious. So anyway, give that a shot, guys. I hope you enjoy. I'm Eli Martyr. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time on the FreeMelon Society.